Hi, I'm Margaret. I live in Rochford Bridge, County Westmeath. I'm married for almost 40 years and I have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. The first mention of social prescribing was by my GP, but at the time I wasn't in, I think, a good enough place to even ask him what was social prescribing. I'd been very quiet in myself and I was trying to figure out exactly what my problem was. When the children were very young, I was lucky enough I was able to give up work when my eldest was a year old. We were over 8 years married before we had a family, and at one stage we didn't think we'd ever manage to have, due to problems with miscarriages and that I was delighted to be home with them. After my 3rd child was born, I suffered postnatal depression, and then shortly after that I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. So between trying to rear a family and my arthritis, I stopped going out. I dreaded social occasions. But from the moment I walked inside the doors of Offaly Community Development, the first lady I met, I don't know who she was, but she must have seen the fear on my face. And I said, "I'm looking for Amanda Caulfield." And she said, "Come on, I'll bring you upstairs." I was only there, I'd say, a few minutes, but it seemed like forever. But anybody who passed, everybody had a big smile and a big hello, and you know, we're just so friendly. And then I met Amanda, and that was a very emotional meeting, because I was, I suppose, just happy to be at home, and to put myself out there was a big thing for me. She suggested a few things that I might be interested in. I said I would try crochet. I'd never done crochet. So the first few weeks, I suppose, I just sat there kind of trying to concentrate on this and figuring out how was I going to do it, and didn't say a whole lot. Then as time went by, I got to know the group. I felt more at ease, and I started to come out of myself, and I was delighted that I put myself out.
Hi, I'm Paul McCann. I'm a psychotherapist. I'm from Tullamore. Just moved back here after a 35-year gap. My main interest is this little girl here. Yeah, I'd heard about social prescribing, 20 years ago when I was studying to be a psychotherapist, and it had been mentioned a couple of times by my GP over the years. So I would have had some awareness of it, but not really full until I'd experienced it. I would have done quite a bit of it in the work that I do with clients, and then I burned out a couple of years ago, so I had to take some time out, and I found myself on the other end of things, and I had just moved back to Tullamore when I had a breakdown, and happened to be out with a friend who introduced me to Amanda, and I heard about the dog walking group, and thought it would be a nice kind of social piece, maybe a way of meeting people, good way to get out. Well, I suppose mentally it was very high anxiety, depression, unable to leave the house, and I had to take nearly a year off work. I suppose it just made me question everything. It made me reevaluate everything. Eventually I can say that on this side of it, going through it, it was the lowest of the low, it was the darkest of the dark. There would have been moments where there would have been suicidality there, and just an inability to see a future. And the work that I do, you need to be in the whole of your health, and I just ran myself into the ground, and I moved down here in January. By the end of March, they wanted me to go into hospital for 6 weeks, and I didn't want to do that. So I just stayed with some good friends and checked in with my GP twice a week, and that's kind of how they monitored me. Well, social prescribing, if you think about it, if you go to a doctor and you're looking for a prescription for something to help you feel better, social prescribing it's going down the holistic route. So it's looking at, what your interests are. So in my example, I had a dog, I enjoyed walking. So something like a dog walking group was good. It looks at your interests, it looks at things you might like to try. it gets you to kind of start thinking outside of yourself and looking to where you live and how you live and who's around you and what services are around you and what interests are around you, and trying to get you to develop those so you're getting out and about, you know, you're socializing, you're mixing, you're developing your life skill set. The prescription is for doing rather than taking a medication and hoping the medication will do it for you. Social prescribing is about doing it for yourself. It's been good. It's helped me connect and reconnect with people down here, you know, after being away for so long.